This is Sonic Tonic Experience. Thanks for being here. My name's Darren Kramer. Very excited to have my good friend Jake Boldman, lead trumpet player, now living in Dallas, Texas. And we're going to have a lot of fun learning all about the world of lead trumpet. So welcome, Jake. Thanks so much for being here today.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat and hang out.
Yeah, this is especially cool because I haven't seen you for a few months. You were living in Colorado, and then right before all this craziness hit, you were on tour with Margaritaville and touring around the country, and then went back to Dallas to hunker down and live this thing out. So it's nice to see your face again.
Yeah, man, you too. Human contact.
Yeah, even through, technology.
Yeah, right.
Our listeners should know we opened the show listening to Turbulent Altercation. It's the first song on my first CD, and that track originally featured Jerry Hay and Gary Grant, the brilliant trumpet players, on everything out in LA. And so we decided to redo the ElektroHornz parts on this new remix track of Turbulent Altercation, and Jake is there playing lead trumpet. So thanks for all your efforts and always contributing to my DKO projects.
Yeah, man, of course. It's great writing. It's so much fun to play. It's good stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of in common and love of music for jazz, and for the fact that we both went to two of the best schools, really continuing to be in the world for music. And I went to University of Miami, you went to North Texas, and there's a lot of history there and a lot of great learning and faculty, and it's just when you know someone's from one of those two schools, you know they have a lot of skills. So it's neat that we cross paths here in Colorado.
Yeah, for sure, of all places.
Yeah. So we got all kinds of stuff we're going to talk about today, and this is going to be a real fun hour, but we got to get started or understand kind of what we're talking about. Jake, what you call yourself a lead trumpet player? First of all, what does it take to play trumpet, and then what is the difference between a trumpet player and a lead trumpet player?
It's funny. I was just writing about this. So for me, the lead players tend to spend more time in the upper register of the horn. Not to say that like other trumpet players don't. It seems to be that consistently lead players are playing, they're the top voice. And so that usually ends up being on the upper end of the horn, register wise. So you're kind of sitting on top of, I would say that lead players it's not just specific to big band. I think funk groups and things like that, it's kind of a lot of the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just playing in the upper register consistently. But so yeah, in big band setting, it's the first trumpet part. Those are going to be the highest notes. And then you end up sitting on top of the band because of the nature of the instrument and how well that it projects.
Why are there so few lead trumpet players versus general good trumpet players? What's the difference?
I think it's spending time working on that upper register playing. Some people are, I don't want to say naturally good at it, but their specific setup works better for playing in the upper register for longer periods of time. That's not saying that you can't work on your range and get better at it that way.
It's like a sprinter versus a long distance runner, right? Or I'm way into cycling and the Tour de France and all that. There's people that are climbers and there's people that are sprinters. Your just physical makeup does have something to do with it. Did you always find that you were able to play higher notes easier at a young age?
It's funny because my first band director, she made fun of me.
As band directors should do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she would say, yeah, especially getting into high school, because I was playing lead in the big band at high school, at that point. But she was like, I remember you in seventh grade and you couldn't play above a G on top of the staff, which is, about middle of the road. And she was like, you're shaking and everything. And I'm not sure. I've thought about this a lot. I'm not sure when it clicked for me, or if it was. I remember I was playing a really shallow mouthpiece, and that was helping me get higher notes out. And so I think, without knowing it, I was working on air compression. Um, and I have,
But then all of a sudden you hit trumpet puberty.
yeah, if you will.
Wait, I better drink to that. Okay.
Yeah. The trumpet puberty.
I've never said that before. That's what Sonic Tonic Experience is all about.
Yeah, man. I don't think anybody said that before.
Yeah, so and then you just realized at some point in high school that you enjoyed playing the higher notes and kind of leading the way on top of the band.
Yeah, I remember wanting to play the first part. Um, and I enjoyed playing the melody, and which ended up, on my stand a lot, the melody, playing first or whatever. And when I wasn't, it was like almost like I wasn't having as much fun, and so it's changed. I've changed my tune since then, because I love playing inner parts, like third trumpet. I love third trumpet. I would play third trumpet all the time. But yeah, I remember from, a young age, really enjoying being like that voice and being in that part. And it made it fun for me.
And that's one of the main components anyone should be doing. When you love something, do more of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're better at it. You spread more positivity. You're in a better mood. You're happier. You're not doing it for money. You're doing it because you're just a creature on this planet and you're doing something you love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, there's sort of a stigma out there in the music world of, there's certain personality types that play certain instruments. Um, do you find that? And a common thing is that lead trumpet, you really have to be a leader. You're usually a personality type and you're kind of an alpha male. Have you found that? And do you think of that yourself that way?
Yeah, I don't think of myself that way.
No.
uh, I think you do have to, just because of the nature of the role, you're kind of driving the bus stylistically, uh, with big band and stuff, and that loosens up when you get into different genres and different ensemble makeups, instrument wise. But yeah, especially with big band, you kind of have to take the reins. But that also means doing the research, and taking the time to, I mean, listening. Everybody always says that, but seriously, listening is like the biggest thing that helped me. And I would sit with my charts and find my favorite recordings, and literally go measure by measure, phrase by phrase. I'm only listening for articulation. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm only listening for dynamics. Okay, I'm only listening for, like, the shape of the line. Where is he articulating, or anybody articulating, and slurring to get through these passages. And but yeah, I think there's, back to your original question, I think there is a personality type, kind of like, I don't know, jockey lead trumpet player.
Yeah. You
And
you you gravitate toward it and then you actually have to put in the effort and to work on it.
yeah,
Um, I've always kind of thought I've written a lot of music and played in a lot of big bands, and I've really boiled it down to, in any band, the most important instrument is the bass because it's rhythmic and it's harmonic. So
sure.
it's doing two of the three main roles of music. The other one is melody. But really with a big band, meaning we're talking 17 to 20 people on stage playing swing, Latin, ballads, a whole number of styles. But it's when you hear a great big band, it's really what makes or breaks it to me as a listener is drums and lead trumpet.
Yeah.
And it's so, I want to play some music here so our listeners can hear you playing. And this is from your last year at University of North Texas in Denton, Texas.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been my last year.
We were just listening to University of North Texas with Jake Boldman playing lead trumpet with the 1 O'Clock Lab Band, featuring the great jazz trumpet player Chuck Finley. And that arrangement was by Drew Zaremba, who now lives in Colorado, great sax player up at University of Northern Colorado. And that was the Song Is You. But such a pleasure to hear great playing like that. You can literally go to any video or any record from University of North Texas Lab 1 and be pleasantly surprised and entertained with musical quality. And it's such a neat lineage to be from. So how was it to be at that school?
I really enjoyed my time there. Like we would get together and like hang and listen to records or whatever, new tunes that had come out from up and coming jazz musicians we really liked. We get together and sight read. I mean, there was I remember when I was first starting there, we had a trumpet hang with some of the guys from the 1 O'Clock, and it's like, oh, cool. It's like they want to hang.
Yeah.
And so we're playing. We had kind of this round robin thing going where it's like we had 5 trumpets up at one time and just reading big band charts down. And so you start on one end and you're playing fourth, and then you go to third, and then you're playing lead, and then you're playing second, and then fifth, and then you have a break until it's your turn to start playing fourth again.
I love that. That's what college is all about, man. That is so
great.
Cool. Where you're so deep into this thing where it's like, who cares what time it is, and you just play more. I remember one time we went and heard the Moscow Philharmonic that was over from Russia and played in Miami, And then one of the grad student trombone players invited the bone players all back to the campus.
Yeah.
And then we did that exact same thing, playing Bach quartets and all these things of just mixed with these guys. Some of them could barely speak English, so we couldn't even communicate that much. And we're just all swapping in and playing till the wee hours. And I remember us smoking Bulgarian cigarettes that they had. And we invited our trombone teacher over too. He was involved in it, and it was just such a cool thing. And I think a lot of people maybe don't realize they would just happen on the video they just saw you play and go, wow, that sounds really good. And, oh, you must be really lucky. You're just musically talented. That's not the case. Everybody needs to realize when you hear something great or see something great, there might be raw talent, but there's a lot of hard work. And I love that you're bringing up this point about listening. Music is about listening. That's it. This is Jake playing with the DKO ElektroHornz, 4 live horn players with my Ableton rig. We're looking at Ableton Live. It's a cool recording program I use a lot to create and perform my music. And so I hope you guys enjoy this. This is the great lead trumpet playing of Jake Boldman on Not Far From Here, the ElektroHornz remix. See you next week.
I want you